What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing a full build tutorial. We're going to get a challenge from frontendmentor.io, and if you don't know what this website is, it's got challenges. I'll click on challenges here. This is my profile, by the way. If you make an account, you can message me or add me or comment or whatever. But it's just a website with a bunch of challenges for the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript mainly. It's mainly for front end. But you can also add back end to these projects too and make them full stack. But this is just like a website where you can come and download designs and practice building stuff like you would for a real job. Or even, if you're already a professional developer, you can just come here for fun and build stuff, which is what I do. So I'm going to click on challenges, and then I'm going to sort by easier first and hide all the ones I've already done. And then I'm going to do this results summary component. I'm going to build this project today with you guys. I think you can even add JavaScript to this. They give you a JSON file, but I'm not going to do that for this tutorial. We're just going to do HTML and CSS. This is the design for desktop. So it's just it's one container, two other boxes side by side, so that'll be Flexbox. And then within there's data in each box. So it's not that complicated. This should be fun. This is the mobile view. So that's pretty simple. You just stack them on top of each other from mobile. We can do that. And then there's like some gradients here. You can see how the color fades and changes. That's a gradient, so I'll show you how to make gradients. And yeah, we got probably just have a couple icon pictures and that's it. This will be really simple. So you can hit Visit Challenge Hub, and then you can download the starter files. I think I already downloaded them. And then if you want to download, you can go to figma.com if you want to download the Figma file for this. Figma is just like Photoshop, but it's just for web development. It's a free web app. You can get it for free if you want to do that. You might have to have a premium account on here on Frontend Mentor.io. You can do a lot of these for free, but if you pay like $10 a month, you can do premium challenges, and then I think you can download these design files if you want to use design software to make it more realistic. That's totally up to you. So you do what you want. I'm going to rock with Figma. I think, actually, you know what? I might, for the sake of this video, since we're going to have stuff side by side, Figma might not be the best. I might just want to rock with the images. So let me go to my Finder here. Because I think I have the starter file. And it has, right here. It's got these images. Yeah, in this desktop design. That might be better for these purposes. Bam. Just put that side by side. You guys can see it with me as we build. Might be better. I just make it, yeah. That might be better, guys. I'll just do that for you guys. Figma's cool, though. This is Figma. If you want to download Figma for free and download the file, it'll show you everything. You can zoom in, zoom out. It's got all this. It's got the active state, which is when you hover over stuff. It's got the mobile view here. You can click on stuff and get styles a little bit faster, but it's not necessary. It's totally up to you. But anyway, this is what we're building here. I'm going to make a new folder and call it, what is this called? Results component or something like that. So I'll just say results component. I'll say YT because I'm doing this for YouTube. All right, so we got our file here. I'm gonna go with Visual Studio Code as my text editor. Follow along with whatever text editor you want. I think I built this once myself, and then I was trying to make a video scripted, but I just realized halfway through that I can't do that. It's not fun. I don't enjoy doing scripted videos, so I'm gonna rebuild this again fresh with you guys. That's why I haven't posted a video in a while, because I've been experimenting with other ways of doing stuff, and a lot of other popular coder YouTubers they do video tutorials, but they're scripted. I can't work like that, so I'm just starting fresh for this recording. And the cool thing about coding is, since it's more of like an art form than a science, is you can build the same thing 20 different ways and it'll still look the same. So it's like new every time, even though this is the second time I'm doing it. Anyway, enough of that. So we have I dragged my folder in here that I just made, or you can go to File, Open if you're using Visual Studio Code. And then I'm going to also grab I'm going to make an image file in here for the images for the design. And then in my downloads area, I'm on Mac, but I think PC looks pretty similar. You can go to your downloads folder, and I've got the results component main file that I've downloaded from Frontend Mentor. I'm just going to open the assets folder and go into the images, and I'm going to hit shift and copy all these images and drag them to my new image folder here, because that's all we need. And then what else do I need? I think that's it. I'll drag the design file over here just so I can have the images for you guys as we build. And then actually I'm also going to take I think there's like a style guide in here. Yeah, right here. The style guide folder, guys, it's in the design, or it's in the main folder that you download from Frontend Mentor. So just to show you what I'm talking about, when it says download starter files, this is that folder. So download that and you'll have access to all the same stuff as me. The style guide usually just tells you like fonts and stuff, so I'll just drag that over here. And then that tells you like all the colors, and of course it's in HSL. I don't like HSL color format, so I'm going to change those to hex codes. I'll show you guys how to do that. You can use that if you want. I don't understand HSLs. I don't know why they're a thing. We have hex codes and RGBs already, so this is kind of unnecessary. It's one of those new complicated things that developers like to do just for the sake of complexity, is invent new crap that doesn't need to be invented. But anyway. Got our style guide, we got our images, we got our design images that we can look at. You guys can just set up your stuff like I am, is what I suggest. And then let's start making our files. So I'm going to make my index.html file. Whoops. HTML, not HTM. I'm going to make a style.css file. Okay. And then I'm using Visual Studio Code again, guys. So I'm going to be using the shortcuts using the Emmet extension that comes with Visual Studio Code. So to get my HTML boilerplate code, I'm going to have Shift. I'm going to hit Shift and press number 1 in Tab. So it gives you the exclamation point, then you hit Tab and it gives you all this code. Let's name our document something realistic. So we'll say like your results are in. Because it would probably say something like that, because this would be part of like a web app to where you submit a test, and then this would pop up probably as like a pop-up window with your results. So just to make it more realistic, we'll do that. I'm going to launch this file with the live extension plugin for VS Code. You can download that by clicking on extensions and typing in live. And then it's right here, live server, and then you can hit install if you haven't installed it. And that'll let you see your changes to your document live every time you save. So I'll launch that, and then here's our empty. I have a 3-screen setup, so stuff goes to my other screens, guys, when I click stuff sometimes. So obviously I'm only recording this screen, so I got to drag it over. Anyway, here's our empty document. Your results are in. Nothing here yet. We haven't done anything, but that just shows that we're good to go. Let's go ahead and I'm going to make an H1 and call it test. And I'm going to use that. So there's we saved the document there. It showed up. Every time I save, guys, I'm hitting Command S on Mac, or I think it's Ctrl S on PC. It's the shortcut for save. Or you can go to File Save to update your document. Okay. Or I think you can also turn on autosave if you want to go in your settings and turn that on. But just so you know, that's how I'm saving if you're completely new to all this. So we have our test there, our H1. I'm just using this to make sure that my style sheet gets connected. So let's go into the head of our HTML. I'm going to hit enter and go under my last meta tag for the viewport, and I'm going to type link, and I'm going to hit tab, and this is what's going to connect our style sheet. So it gives you the rel of style sheet, and then you just have to put in your file name and the href, which is style.css for me. And then I'm going to go to my style sheet. I'm going to hit asterisk. I'm going to make the asterisk, and that is code for select everything on the page. And we're going to do a CSS reset. We're going to say margin 0, padding 0, box sizing border box. This CSS reset just gets rid of all of the default styles that browsers have, like Chrome. They have default margin and padding that we don't want, and border box gets rid of different. When you add padding and margin onto other elements, it multiplies it and messes with your widths and so on. If you don't understand what any of that means, go watch my video. I have a whole video on CSS resets and how they work. But as you can see, when we save test one up to the corner, there's no margin or padding now, so we fixed that. Let's make sure that our H1 can change the color of that. So let's just say red to make sure it's good to go. Yep, so our style sheet's working. The next thing we're going to do is looking at our design. That's this one right here. You can see the font is different than the font we have now. Our default font is like this ugly sans serif font, so we got to get that font. The font is located on it's a Google font. It's called Hanken Grotsk or something like that, and that's in the style guide file. It tells you where my font is, so it says, hey, go get this font family. It's on Google. Here's the link, and these are the font weights we need. So let's do that. Let's go to Google Fonts. And we're at Google Fonts now. I'm going to go to this shopping bag looking thing, and I'm going to click Remove All. And you can see I got all the fonts before when I built it, but I'll get them with you guys new. So let's type in the name of it, Hanken. There it is, Hanken Grotesque. And then we need 500 weight. The weights are up here. Starts at 100 and goes up. We need 500, 700, and 800. So here's my medium 500. Here's my bold 700, and here's my extra bold 800. Now when I added all those and I clicked that, they went back to my shopping bag. There they are. And it gives me a link. I'm going to copy this link, and I'm going to put it above my style sheet code. And I'm going to paste it in. So that connects our website to Google Fonts, and it'll grab those fonts every time the page is loaded now. But we also need to get the font family, which is right here, to put into our CSS so that it knows to use it. So we got the font family copied. I'm going to put my design back up here, the page that we're working on, and I'm going to copy and paste that into my select all asterisk code and hit save. And there, now our font looks like the design font. Okay, pretty cool, huh? So that's how you get any Google font, guys. You can do that same process no matter what project you're working on. If you've never used Google Fonts, just remember that process or come back and watch the video, and that's how you do it. So next we can pretty much let's change our colors, dude. Let's go back to our style guide file and see all these HSL colors that I don't like. I'm gonna get rid of them. I'm gonna switch those to hex code colors. So let's just go to Google. I'm gonna type in HSL to hex. Go to this first website, htmlcolors.com. And I'm going to copy paste the HSL colors, and then it's going to spit out the hex code that we need for that color. Just because, again, I don't like HSL. Looks weird to me. Don't see the point of it. So there we go. Copy pasted that. Now I got this hex code. This is the correct one. And I'm just going to continue doing this. You can like fast forward the video and then just pause it and copy these down if you don't want to listen to me talk and ramble on here. Totally up to you, but I'm just doing the same. What you should be doing is doing this with me, because this is some stuff that you're gonna have to do stuff like this, guys. If you're a developer, like sometimes you're gonna have to use other websites to get stuff that you want, because you can't remember everything, right? Like, obviously, nobody's going to know hex codes off the top of their head, right? That would just be crazy. And that's the same thing for all code. I still have to look up HTML and CSS sometimes. It's not about remembering everything. It's about using the tools of the web and other tools to figure out the answer. And that's what a good web developer does. Because at the end of the day, you're more of like an engineer, dude. You're just solving problems. You're not remembering code. Code is just the tool, right? Code isn't a religion. Like there's a bunch of YouTube channels out there that like worship code. There's people that go on those websites like leetcode.com and they just solve riddles all day. Like, dude, what? It's like, it's just a tool, you know? It's not meant to be worshipped. It's so strange. It's like worshiping a hammer if you're a construction worker. Like, why would you worship a hammer? It's just a hammer. It's just your tool that you have to use, right? Anyway. All right, guys, we're almost there. That says HSLA. Oh, you know, it's because this is for the that I think the HSLA is probably maybe that'll be useful for like the gradients, I guess. Maybe that would be a good use case for HSL when we use gradients. If you don't know what gradients are, I'll show you, but it's like when one color slowly morphs into another color. That's a gradient. But that's maybe, I mean, we already have RGBA colors for that. So again, I don't know why HSL was invented, right? One thing about web development is you just see these different things get invented, like I said, for no reason. And that's why when you go to apply for like web developer jobs, and the job requirements like list 100 different languages that you're supposed to know. It's like, what are y'all talking about? All right, so that's all of them. I got all my hex codes. Don't need this note. We got the typography. All of the paragraphs are 18 pixels apparently, so knowing that, I'm going to go in here and say P font size 18 pixels. Okay, because that's what it says here. So I might as well just make that declaration right away when I learn it. Got everything. Okay, so we're good. We got our colors, we got our font, we got our images, we got the design, we got live server going. We're ready to rock and roll here. So let me get rid of this test. Don't need that. Okay. All right, here we go. Here's our design. This is what we have to build now. So let's get started. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make one giant section, and I'll call this like component container or something like that. So let's say hashtag component container, and then hit tab. That'll give you a div with the ID of component container. Actually, instead of a div, let's make that a section. Just because if this was like a real full web app, it would probably be a section. So we'll use the section tag just to be cool. Then we have so this thing is going to be our whole container. So within it, we're going to have the two different ones with the content that we need. So let me just open this Figma file and put it in another window because there is some widths that I want to get off of this. There we go. Cool. Okay. So let's do another div now. We'll call it like results container or yeah, something like that. So let's just say dot results container. That dot, it says make me a class with a div with the class of results container, and then hit tab to do it, and there it is. And now we just have like 3 pieces of content that we need to make, so let's do that. We'll say your result is first, so that's probably like an H2. So I'm just gonna say H2 your result. And then let's make sure that it came up on our page. There it is, your result. And what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to look at the design. Probably, I don't know, we'll just make it all the HTML. I'm trying to like make it so you guys can see why I'm typing stuff here. But hopefully you're looking at the design, or you have like a multi-screen setup like me, where you can have this on a full screen and know what we're doing here. But anyway, there's your result. Below your result, see how there's this circle with these numbers in the middle? This circle is going to have to be another div, and we're going to give it a height and a width, and we're going to make it a circle with CSS. That's not an image. That looks like it's an image, but we can actually create this all with CSS. So let's just call this, we'll give it a div with the class. We'll say dot numbers circle. And then within there, we'll have 2 paragraphs with the numbers. So I'll say p dot large number. That says give me a paragraph with the class of large number, and hit tab. And the large number is going to be 76. And the reason I'm giving it a separate class is because I'm going to have to grab onto this and make this huge by itself. So that's just for styling purposes. And then we'll have AP with the class of small number below it. and that is going to have of 100, 76 of 100. See what that looks like. Sure, it's coming up on our page. There it is. All right, and then we're gonna underneath it, we're gonna have text that just says "great." That's probably an H3, so we'll just call it an H3. Great, and then below that we have a paragraph, and the paragraph says you scored higher than 65% of the people who have taken these tests. Okay. So I think that's it for all the content that we need on this box. So we're just going to do all the HTML first, guys. Yeah, that's basically it. So unstyled, that's just the raw content, and the styles is going to bring everything together. But that's one half of our design complete for the HTML. Now we got to do the summary. So let's go below here, put a double space just so it's obvious, and we'll do another div called summary container. So we'll say dot summary container, and then we have another H2 here that says summary. So let's say H2 summary, and then below here we have all these scores for the various skills that were tested. So we're going to have an outside container for all these so that I can center them in this box. And then we're going to have other divs. This will probably be a separate container together, and then this will probably be separate, and we'll use Flexbox to put everything side by side and center it perfectly. And then once we get done doing all that, we'll just have to create the button code. Okay, so just walking you through how I'm visually setting this up in my mind. Okay, so we have summary, and then we'll have call this below it. We'll have a div called stats container. T-A-I-N-E-R, if I can spell. And then within the stats container, we're going to have each individual one. So I'm going to make each of these have its own ID and as well as a class. I'll have each one of these have a class of stat, and then the ID for each one's going to be named after the stat. So we'll have a reaction, memory, verbal, because we can see that each one of these has a different color. So we'll use the ID to style the background color and the text color for each one. Okay. So let's say hashtag reaction, and we'll say dot stat. So that says make a div with an ID of reaction, a class of stat. When I hit tab, here we go. Bam. Okay. And then now we're going to have to group these two together and these two together in separate divs, probably, to make it everything go straight across and in the middle like it is in the picture. So thank God we have Flexbox, guys, because before all this technology with CSS, to do this would be a pain in the butt. Just so you know, this would take hours. So we don't have to do that anymore. So how do we want to do this here? We'll say dot stat text, and then we'll have the image. Say dot slash, go to my image folder, and I need the icon for reaction. And then for the alt text, we'll say Thunderbolt icon. And then next to it, we'll have a paragraph and say reaction. So there's that. And then next to it, we'll have another div. Will we have to have another div? Yeah, we'll put another div. We'll say we'll call it stat numbers, I guess. So that's stat numbers. And then as you can see here, it says 80 out of 100. So 80 out of 100. So let's see what that looks like HTML wise. Yeah. Okay. Everything's there. So we just got to copy that down several times because it's going to be the same setup for each one. So stats container reaction. So from here, see how I have like a extension that underlines the ending of each div tag to help me know where I'm in my code. So I know that from here to here I need to copy and just paste down 3 more times so I can have 4 of these. So I'm going to say this. I'm going to say shift option on my Mac keyboard. Go 1, 2, 3. Alright guys, so we copied that same code down 3 times. So now you can see that we have our 4 little stat areas here. But now they all say reaction, so we need to make each one what it's supposed to say. So we're going to edit some of the HTML here. So let's just pull up our design. So first one is reaction. The second one is memory. So let's change the ID of this div to memory. And then we'll do the memory image. /image memory. And then we'll just say brain icon for the alt text. And then we'll change this text to memory. And then memory is 92 out of 100. So look at that. There it is. Oh, we got reaction, memory. Next is verbal. So we'll go down to the next div and we'll make the ID verbal. And we'll get the verbal icon. So /image verbal. And this is like a speech bubble. So I'll just put like speech icon for my alt text. And then we'll say verbal here. And verbal is 61 out of 100. And then last we have visual. Change our ID to visual. And then we'll go /icon visual. And then we'll say icon for alt text. And then we'll change this to visual. Okay. And then visual is 72 out of 100. So boom. All right. There it is. So we got that section done, the HTML. So now we need to do a button. So let's go down here and see stats container. Yeah. So we're going to go below this div and we're going to make the button. So I'll just say button. I'll give it an ID of BTN. And we'll say the text in here is just continue. Okay. There it is. Cool. So that's all the HTML we need. So now we're just going to be doing the CSS. We're just going to be styling everything up here. So let's get started with that. Get rid of this. And okay. So let's go up here and we've got our component container ID, and that's like remember that's like the box for all of the content, so that's going to control positioning for these two, and it's also going to control positioning for it on the page. So let's make it stuff side by side and centered on the page. So I'm just going to copy this component container ID, and I'm going to say hashtag to select the ID selector for CSS, and then just copy that in. And it's good, guys, to always copy and paste your stuff over so that you don't avoid typos, especially if it's a longer class name. Like my ID and class names are pretty long usually because I like them to be really descriptive of what they are. So if you don't copy paste and you try to spell it out and then you misspell it, you could be there for a half an hour wondering why it's not working before you figure that out. And we've all done that, so you just want to avoid that. Just use copy paste. So I'm going to say display flex, and let's actually look at what we're building as I do that. Display flex Align item center. Justify content center. Okay. So as you can see, that made everything go side by side. So like each side of the content like has its own little card now, even though it's not looking pretty. And then that whole thing also put our card in the middle of the page at the same time. So killed two birds with one stone. That's the power of Flexbox, which is nice. So we've got all that. What we should do next here is we can start doing this card. We'll style this card up first, this side, and then we'll do that side second. We'll just go in order left to right. So we got results container here. So everything in this results container looks like it's like centered in the card. So that'll be, we'll use Flexbox again, but instead of using like regular Flexbox where it goes side by side, I'm going to change the flex direction attribute, and we're going to make it say column so that it's all straight. So let's do that. So let's just grab this code. Results container. And that was a class, I believe. Yeah. So I copied that. We're going to select it with its class selector, the dot. Say results container. Display flex. Let's look at it while we do it. Align items center. And justify content center. So watch this. Everything just went side by side. Remember I said it would do that? But we're going to use the flex direction, and we're going to say column. Boom. So now it's all centered within its card. And then we're also going to make the background that purple color. So it's this color right here. And it's got a gradient to it. So you can kind of see, I'll zoom in a little bit, that it starts up like lighter purplish here. And then like as you go down, it gets darker purple. Like, I guess that's purple, right? Or is it like a dark blue? I don't know. But there's a gradient. It's called a gradient when one color like kind of fades into another one and changes. And we can see that same effect with that little circle that we're going to be making. So I think in the style guide it tells us about it. So yeah, so I think this gradient's light slate blue and light royal. So I guess it's blue, even though that looks like purple to me. This is for the background, and then this is for the circle. So that's what that info is for. So we'll make a gradient, and I usually do stuff like this by using like a web app. I'll just go to a website that helps me make gradients, and I'll use that. So let's use that together because I don't remember the syntax to make gradients, and you shouldn't have to remember it, right? Remember, development is about knowing how to find the answers to what you need to do. It's not about memory, guys. So let's just go to Google and type in CSS gradient generator. And I'm going to go to cssgradient.io. And we're going to go ahead. I'm going to add these two colors. So this is for the background. So I'm going to copy this, put this in first, copy this one, put this in second. And then let's make this big. So we got, what we basically just did is we said we want this color and then this color second. And now it's linear over here because you can see linear is top and bottom. So I have that selected because the design, it looks like it bleeds in top to bottom. It's not side to side, it's top to bottom. So that's the correct selection there. And then I did 360. This should be set to 360 so that it's perfectly up and down. And you can see like right here what it looks like. So it looks like the colors are actually flip-flopped to where they should be. So let me see if I can fix that. Because I think the darker blue is supposed to be on bottom, or purple or whatever. Let's see. See if I'm right or wrong. Okay. So this is giving you a preview of what it looks like over here, guys. So it should be darker as we go down, right? So now you just adjust these things. Oh, I've got two of the same color. Hang on. I was like, why does that look the same? There we go. think this one goes here, and then the other one goes. The other one goes in the other one. This one. I believe. There we go. So let's adjust this, see what this does. So again, I'm just looking over here to see what it's doing up here. This is a preview of what our background's going to look like. So there we go. So the blue should be down. Where does the blue start? I think it's like halfway down or more than halfway. So it starts getting darker like right around the grate area. So it's almost 50-50. And this isn't going to be like perfect to the design, guys, but it'll be close enough. There we go. How light is it up there? Let's see. Is it super light? Yeah, it's decently light. I'm going to move this to my other window really quick so I can look at it in real time and adjust it accurately for us. Just so you know. It's hard to do this on one screen, keep going back and forth. I don't like that. Alright, let's do this and this. Here we go. So, this isn't quite so light up here. It's more like this. And then probably like this. I'm going to see how this looks. So after we adjust, guys, our code that we're going to use is down here. So this uses RGB, linear gradient, and all that. I'm not going to remember all that code, guys. That's why I just use tools like this. Oh, here it is. So look at when we hover, it shows us what it's going to look like. So I'm not sure I love that now that I can see that. Maybe like this. Let's see. What is this? Okay. This controls the transparency. Okay. Let's just copy this and see what it looks like so far. Copy paste and get my code back. Looks okay. Like I said, it's not going to look perfect. We can roll with this for now. I think that'll be fine. If we have to adjust it later, we will. But that doesn't look bad necessarily. Okay, so let's continue on. Let me get this back here. Oops. So let's style everything going down. So we'll start with this H2, the your result H2. So this text, did we make a class for it? Because this text is like that off color. Did I make like a light text? I might have to make like a light text span for that. But I think it's the same color as this paragraph as well. What color would that be, guys? Maybe like a light lavender. Is it the light lavender color? Not positive. Let's see. Dot results container H2 color light lavender. Let's go to where. All right, I'm gonna save. Yeah, is that it? Looks a little too light. Looks too light. How about this one? I'm not really positive what these colors are, guys, because even on the Figma design, it didn't really tell me. So that doesn't look like either. Could it be this one? Let's see. It's too light, isn't it? Yeah, this looks like it's almost like kind of got like an opacity to it. So an opacity changes like how transparent something is, guys. That's what opacity does. So what if we did that and then we said like opacity 0.8? Yeah, that's not really it. Huh. All right, I'm going to use a tool here, guys. I'm going to take a screenshot of this. Let's see, Shift 4. There we go. It's going to take a screenshot of my Mac. It's Shift Command 4. Or you can use the snipping tool on Windows, I think, to do the same thing. And I'm going to go to a website to get that color. HTML color detector is what I type in, and then it says HTML colorcodes.info website. I've been using this forever. It's a really old website, but it does the job. Screenshot. I'm just looking for the screenshot I just took. What is today? The 19th? Wow. Oh, time flies. Where is the screenshot that I just took? It's not this one, but this is the same color. So it's this color, supposedly. Let's see. Your result, does that look the same? Yeah, that's the color. That's CAC9FF. We'll go with that. That looks closer than anything that we have, right? So we'll do that. That's cool. Okay. Oh, I also have the opacity on there. Let's take that off and see what that... Yeah, let's just do that. So maybe the opacity was good, though. Maybe I think the opacity actually helped make it look more like the design. I'll just put opacity 0.8. So for opacity, guys, the closer you get down to like 0.1 is like the more see-through it's going to be. That's what opacity means. But I think that looks pretty good. Probably need a bigger font size, so I'm going to see if I can see what that is on Figma. This Figma design isn't really giving me much. See, Figma, guys, when you do like on Frontend Mentor, when you do a premium challenge, the Figma design or the sketch design that you can download has like way more info on it. So like using a Figma design credit, like you only get so many credits a month on a free challenge, I guess is kind of pointless because it's not really giving me any info. So we'll just keep it that font size for now. I think that's fine. We'll make sure that's the font weight of 100 or 500, I mean. Yeah, because it doesn't look like it's super like bold. Yeah, that looks closer to the thing. So, all right, so there's that. It looks like there's padding on top and bottom of this thing. So let's say padding 2 rem top and bottom. Okay. And now we're gonna go down and make this circle with the numbers in it. Okay. So let's do that. What did we call that? Number circle? Numbers circle. Okay. So let's select that. And we'll do the class selector. Okay. And then this has a background gradient, guys, just like the last one. So it's got these two colors. So let's use our gradient generator again. So I'm going to put this one here. And I'm going to put this one here. And I'm going to hit enter. And I'm going to manipulate this a little bit. Oh, it's supposed to be dark. So it's actually the other way around. I don't know why I keep putting these in the wrong area. Alright, let's try this again. First, second. There's 1. There's 2. Oh, that one didn't copy over. Oh boy. Let's try this again. Okay. There we go. So it starts out dark and gets light on the bottom for the circle. It's kind of like the opposite of the other one. So probably like that. Yeah. That is good. So let's go here. Do this. And then the circle has a height and width of 200 pixels. So we'll change that. I got that from Figma. That's actually showing me. See, it's a square right now, but we've got to give it a height and a width and a border radius to make it a circle. So say height 200 pixels, width 200 pixels, border radius 50%. So for 50% border radius on anything that has an equal height and width will make it a circle. That's a little CSS trick. So let's save it and see. Bam. So that's that. Yeah. And now these numbers have to be in the dead center of the circle. So we can achieve that by using Flexbox. So that's why, guys, I made the circle its own div and I put the paragraphs inside it so that we can use Flexbox on it. That's why I did it that way. So say display flex, align items center, justify content center. Oh. And when I hit save, these are going to go in the dead center of the circle. Boom. And then we need them on top of each other, guys. So remember, that's flex direction column. Bam. Now we'll style up the numbers. This is a huge number and this is a small number with that same kind of text as here. So we'll do that. So let's grab our large number class for the large number. And we'll say the color is white. You know that. And the font size for this, I think it's pretty large. So let's just go with like, let's say font size 60 pixels. Yeah. And then it's if you look at the design, it's got that font weight. I think it's got the 800 font weight. It's like fatter font. So we'll give it a big font weight of 800. That's why we got the 800 font weight earlier. Yeah. It even looks bigger than that. Maybe like 72. Yeah. Let's go 60. We'll call it 68 there. Looks close to the design there. And then the of 100, that's going to be that other color text. So we'll select small number. And we'll say color. Okay, we'll put the color in there. There we go. And then it's got an opacity. It's got some transparency to it. So opacity 0.8, just like the other one. Cool. I might even have more than that. So like 0.6. Yeah, that looks closer. Maybe even 0.4, dude. Okay, we'll call it 0.5. I'm looking at the design on my other screen, guys. I realize, guys, this gradient on here isn't perfect, but for now, it looks like this has opacity to it down here. So let's see if we can make that. This top part, like this whole circle, has some opacity to it. So let's see if we can dial that up here. I mean, the gradient colors are correct. It's just it's not transparent like it. So yeah, we gotta be careful there. Let's see how that changes things. That might be way more like it. Let's copy this. And here. Of course, I don't have that up. That looks more like it. Looks better. Let's see. Yeah, let's try that. I moved it even more, guys, so I'm going to just try this one more time. Just trying to get it like reasonably close to the design. See, it's a little more see-through. This is almost like completely see-through down here on the design, so that's fine. I'm just going to keep it like that, guys. If you want to make it pixel perfect, go for it, but I don't want to spend like an hour just doing that. All right, let's move on. So we got our circle, we got our number style up in there. Looks good. The next is the H3. Is this the only H3 on the whole thing? It is. But I'm not just going to use the H3 selector. I'll say component, or I'll say results container H3. So let's go results container H3, and the color is white, and font size is probably like 24 pixels. It's decently big. I'd say it's about that size, maybe even bigger. And then the font weight is only like 500, it looks like. Yep. And then I'm going to say margin, top and bottom, 2 rem again. And then 0 left and right. Okay. It's got some space. And now we'll do results container P. Do the paragraph. So let's just copy this down. And the results container P text is centered, and it's got a little cutoff. It's got like padding on the sides, or we're gonna use width to do that to make it the text stack like that. So we'll do that. So first we'll say color. It's this color. I don't think there's any opacity. We'll go opacity 0.9. I think it's a little transparent. Okay. Say text line center. We'll say width 70%. So it's less than that. Let's go width 60%. 50%. Just trying to get that text to stack, so it's even less. 40%. No, 45. 45 is going to be the magic number. Yep. Okay, so now that text is stacking like it's supposed to. Right here. That's we used width for that, guys. That's how you can make stuff look like it's supposed to. And then there's more space in between each line of text on the design than what we currently have, like a little bit more. So I'm gonna say line height 1.6. There we go. And I think that's it for that whole side. I think let's see. Okay, so for the whole design, guys, there's a width and height on it that we haven't added, and it's, according to Figma, this is 736 pixels wide and 512 pixels tall. So let's go up here and we'll put that in. So say width 736 pixels, and then height 512 pixels for the whole thing. And then for each side it's going to be a width of like 50%. So let's see, width 50%. There we go. So we'll just make 50% width for both, so it's half of the width, the total width. Okay. So as you can see, that messed up this. So we'll fix that, and then also messed up our gradient a little bit too. Interesting. That's okay. And then actually, let's push this whole thing down because it's like sucked up to the top. Say margin top 7 rem. There we go. So we'll fix what we have to fix. We should have done that earlier, guys, but that's okay. Not a big deal. Let's fix the width on this first. It's bugging me. Say width 65. There we go. We nailed it. First try. Width 65. Font weight 500. Because I think the font looks a little too bold. There we go. And that looks better. We'll change that. We'll make the gradients look better when I get all this done, guys. Okay, I don't want to feel like going back to that right now. But let's do padding bottom 2 rem. maybe 3 rem. Because there's, if you look at the design, this has padding, which is that's gonna mess with our height that we just put on, but that's okay. We'll make everything perfect when it gets complete. There's probably too much space between here and here. There we go. And what else? That just got messed up for some reason. Oh, has it been messed up? I don't know what's going on here. See what's going on with this here, guys. I don't know why that just spaced out so much. Oh, and we got uncentered too. Okay. That's alright. So let's do this. Let's center this back. Say margin left, auto. Margin right, auto. That should center it back in the center. There. Alright guys, so our design got a little... I was just messing around with this for a second, but our design got messed up right here because we said results container P, padding bottom 3 rem. Okay, so that affected all paragraphs. So to fix that, we're going to put a class on this paragraph so that the padding bottom doesn't go to every paragraph in here, okay? So let's get rid of this. That fixes our design back to how it should look. And then let's go to our HTML. And I'm going to select this paragraph here with a class. So call this class result P. Okay? And then I'll copy this and paste it here. And we'll say padding bottom 3 rem. There we go. Okay? So this side is pretty much done. Let's see. Let's look at the design here. Let me pull up the design. There it is. So yeah, it's pretty much done. Let's look at it side by side. Okay. So yeah. Pretty damn close. It's pretty good. Let's just fix... let me see something here. This is still a little weird though, huh? There we go. So I'm also going to do this. I'm going to cut this and put this here so that that doesn't affect that. Oops. All right. Let's see. Yeah. It's pretty good. Our gradients aren't like perfectly dead on like the design, but that's okay. If you want, like I said, if you guys want to go back on your own, like I showed you, and adjust those and make those perfect, have at it. But I'm happy with that. All right, so let's go ahead and the one thing we're missing here is the border. There's a border radius on the actual outside of this container. So let's add that. So this is the results container here. And we'll say border radius 20 pixels. There we go. And now that looks pretty dead on to the design. Okay? Good enough for me. All right, so now let's go ahead and do this part. We're going to do the whole summary area. Okay, so we'll start with the text, then we'll do these boxes, and we'll do the button. Okay? So let's go here. And now we're in the summary container, so we'll say summary container H2. Say dot summary container H2. Actually, let's just do summary container first, and we'll say what did we do to the other one? width 50%, and then what else will be the same? Probably display everything flex. So let's say width 50%. Okay. And then did we do, I don't think we did height or anything on the other one. I don't want to do that, so let's just say summary container h2 now. And there is padding left, say like 2 rem. Summary is over a little bit. And then we'll adjust that. We have to adjust that as we go. And now we have to take the container around all this stuff, and we got to put all this stuff in the correct positioning. And that's the stats container. So let's do this. Let's say, whoops. So dot stats container, display flex, align item center, justify content center, flex direction column. Okay. And now that should be centered in our box. Did we ever make our... Oh, I never made the body have that background blue color, huh? Let's go up here really quick. I was like, why can't we see this? We should be able to see this box, but we can't because we never added this like off... There's like an off blue color to this background. So let's do that. Oops. Let's go body... background color, and it is, I believe, the pale blue color, this one. There we go. And then we can make summary container, background color of white. There, now we can see it. And then there's also some border radius just on these two here, so let's do that. We'll say border radius, and we'll say 0 pix. It goes like this, guys. Let me just show you. For border radius, you can do this, and this is top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right, I think. So we need top right to be 20 pixels. Yep. And then we need bottom right to be 20. Oh, wrong one. Sorry. It's this one. So this should turn right here, corner. There we go. Now that looks like the design because these two are curved. So that's cool. Yeah. So then let's go. We got our stats container flexed, everything in the center, and now we're gonna use flexbox again to flex all this stuff side by side. So that's gonna be the stat class for each div. Remember, they all have a class of stat and they have their own ID. So let's say dot stat. Display flex, align items center, justify content center. There we go. Now everything is side by side, but it's still not looking exactly right. So now we have to go in, or actually, sorry, we don't want to justify content center. We want to do it space between, because this reaction and this thing are supposed to be at the end of here, and then this is supposed to be over here with the background color, like the design. So see that? This stuff's supposed to be like farther apart. So it's actually going to be space between for that. All right, guys. So what? I went ahead and fixed this up here a little bit. Made our summary container our 50% width, background color of white, and the border radius. Which is right there. And then for each stat, instead I did it for each stat. I did flex, align item center, and justify content space between, so that it's got the gap like it's supposed to have right there. And then I gave margin on the sides so that they weren't leaking all the way out to the sides, because without it goes all the way out to the side. You don't want that. So I said margin 0 rem top and bottom, even though we should probably do 1 rem here because there's space between them, and then 2 rem on the sides. Okay. And then just to take this away to show you what this did, it made our stat text. So this stuff right here, the image and the text go side by side. We just use Flexbox again. So just paste that back in there, align it center. Bam. Okay. So that's looking more like the design on this side here. See how this is setting up? Now we got to add our colors and tweak a few other things. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's see, go into Figma here. Each one of these has a certain width. So let's add that. 288 pixels supposedly. So let's see what that does. Say width, 288 pixels. Yeah, that's pretty much what I was at. So that's set, and then that'll help when we make background colors. It'll show up properly. Let's do width top and bottom, or margin top and bottom 1.5 rem, because there's a little more spacing I can see already. And then our summary H2 needs to come down like 2 rem. So let's say padding top 2 rem. There we go. It's looking more like the design. Okay. And now I can already see that this needs some spacing between the icon and the paragraph with text. So that's going to be stat text P. Oops. So we'll say dot stat text P, and that's going to be padding left. We'll say 5 pixels to start. It's a little more. It's more like 8. Yeah. Let's make it 10. Seems like too much. Oh, whoops, I did 20. 10. There we go. So that's about, if we look at the design, it's got that spacing now. Let's make it 9, dude. There, we'll call it 9. Okay. And then let's go ahead and style up each one here as we go. So what's next? What's next is we need stat numbers to be styled. So as you can see, like one number's got like the bold text, and then the slash, and the other number has like that light text, kind of like maybe it's got like an opacity like this text or something. So let's fix that. And that's going to be under stat numbers. We're actually going to want to put this in a span. So let's do that. All these should be in spans so that we can add a class. So let's just make a class called light text. And then let's move all these /100s for each one inside of it. Okay, so there's that one. So I'm just going to copy this. And let's go up all of these. So like right here, just highlight it and paste. And that'll put it inside the span. This one, I think that's all of them. Light text, light text. Yep. Okay. And then let's go here, and we'll say dot light text. Maybe it's just an opacity thing. So like opacity 0.9, opacity 0.7. There we go. I'm just trying to make it like a little light gray. 0.6. Okay. So what else do we got to do? It's pretty much it for those. Maybe even 0.5, dude. Just kind of like see-through light gray. And then now what we can do is we can make the background color for each one of these. And make it, there's like a border radius on each one too. So we can do that. And then we might actually want to make this margin like 3 around on the sides. For each stat. I don't know. Let's do that. We'll do the colors and we'll see what it looks like. So, let's start with the reaction ID. That's the first one. Say hashtag reaction. Okay. And the color is going to be the red text color. So let's get, I believe it's this light red. There we go. And it's just for that. It's not for this as well, so we're going to have to fix that. Might be another span. So let's do that. Let's make our light text color different first of all. So let's say whatever that is. Say color. I think it's like, is it dark gray blue color? Yeah. So that fixes that. Because those were all red. Now we gotta fix this. So span class dark text, put the 80 in there, and say dot dark text. And then let's do this same color as we did up there without the opacity. So this one. There we go. And then it looks like I might have like a font weight of like 700 font weight. It's like a little bolder. Yeah. On the design, it looks a little bolder. So let's do that. That'll be our dark text span. So let's do that for all of them again, guys. So I'm just going to copy this span. Go down here. So just remember that's 92. So let's paste this. Just put 92 in here. There we go. And then same thing for all of them. This is 61. So paste 61. And then for visual, this is 72. So just hit paste. 72. Cool. So now when we change this color on all of them, it won't change this stuff because we use spans with classes to select those, okay? So see how spans are useful. This is where spans come in handy. Okay, so where were we? Now we have to get a background color for this. And to do that, I'm going to go to the design and take a screenshot. So I'll show you what I'm doing here. So I'm gonna hit Shift Command 4 on Mac, or use the snipping tool on PC or whatever you use to take screenshots. I'm actually gonna screenshot all of these. And then we're gonna go to that website where we get the HTML colors again. And we're going to get, because there's not colors for each of these, like off red and light yellows and all that. They don't give us colors for that, so we're going to get them ourselves. So let's go to HTML color detector. Get my screenshot that I just took. Cool. So this is going to be the background for the red. So this goes right here, and then let's watch that change when I hit save. Here we go. Boom. Awesome. And then, is there a height on this? It's going to go to my Figma. So I think each stat has a height. Yeah. Each stat has a height of 56 pixels. So let's say height, or we can probably just do that in stat. Say height 56 pixels. There we go. And then let's give some padding on the sides of like 1 rem. 0, 1 rem. There we go. And then each one has a border radius. So we can see here, they each have like a border radius. So I think it's probably going to be just 20 pixels again. So let's do that. Border radius, 20 pixels. That might be too rounded. Let's see. It's a little too rounded. Let's say like 15 pixels. Yeah, that's better. Yeah. That's pretty good. We'll say 15 pixels. Again, we're not going to be we can't really be pixel perfect because I don't have that information, but if we were like doing this as a professional design, guys, and a designer gave us the design, they would have all the border radiuses and everything in Photoshop, or that information should be in Figma, but it's not for this one because I guess maybe because it's a free challenge. So usually all that stuff is given to you so you can make it pixel perfect, but I don't have that information here, so we're just going to eyeball it. So that looks pretty good though, I think. Let's do our font weight of 500 because I think this reaction text is a little too bold. That looks more like the design. Okay. And yeah, I think the reaction one is done, guys. So pretty much can do these same styles or the same kind of styling for all of them. So I think memory is the yellow one. So let's copy this down and let's make this memory. And the color for this one is the yellow. So it's going to be probably this orange yellow one. Let's do that. Bam. Yep. And then the background color, we're going to do this one. Cool. And that's that. Here's memory. Let's do verbal. So go. And the color for verbal is going to be a green teal color right here. Oops. And then the background color is going to be this. Okay, there's verbal, and then we just got visual. So again, guys, we kind of had to rewrite some code here just because each one is different, so we had to give it an ID. Ideally, in coding, you don't want to like repeat code, but for this design and this particular thing, that's the best and easiest, most straightforward way to do it. Okay. So sometimes you got to break the rules to make the design happen. This one is going to be, maybe is it cobalt blue? Let's see. Yes, it is that one, but we got to change this to visual. There we go. And then the background color is going to be this one. Cool. Let's go side by side. Ours and the design. Pretty close, right? Not bad. Not bad at all. So yeah, almost done, guys. So this is how web development goes, guys. You just break every little thing down into its own individual problem, and you tackle little piece by little piece. Okay, just one little step, baby step at a time. Exactly what we're doing. So now I just got to do the button. Okay, so button that says continue, and then it changes colors when you hover over it. So we'll do that too. But let's do that. So we got the ID of BTN. So I'm just gonna select that. Hashtag BTN. And let's see if I get some styles for this one here. Okay, so it's got a width of 288 pixels and a height of 56 pixels, and I'm getting this from Figma on my other screen. We're going to say border none. Background color, I think it's going to be this one. Yep. And then the text color is just looking like it's white. And then there's a border radius on here of, is it 20? I don't really know. 20 pixels? Maybe more. Yeah. Might be even 30. It's pretty rounded. Yeah, I'll say 30 pixels. Okay. And then let's say cursor pointer. I'll get that pointer cursor. And then now we got to center it in this box. So let's say margin 0 auto. That didn't work. How can we center this? So margin auto is not working on centering that, guys. So I'm going to keep this though. And see if we can center it with like text align. Let's say BTN container. Let's just put this in a div and see if we can do it that way. Sometimes that's the easier way to do stuff. Let's select our BTN container class above it. Say text align center. There we go. There we go. So easy fix. We had to write a little more code. Probably not the most optimal way to do that, but we got it done. Okay, guys, so yeah, now our button is looking like our button is supposed to look. Looks a little fatter or taller than it's supposed to, though, in my opinion. Let's make the height 46. Yeah. Let's make it 50. Final answer. There, I think that looks closer to the design. Oopsie. Yeah, that's pretty close. Look at that, guys. We did it pretty much. Now we just have to do the hover effect for the button. And then, as you can see, this is like sitting on top of this. So we need to use like negative margins to make this go on top of this so that these corners aren't showing. So we'll do that too. But first, let's do the hover state. So the hover state is this. I think it's another. Yeah, it's the same gradient as this, but when we hover over the button, we want it to have the same gradient as, it looks like identical to this over here. So we'll just copy paste that. So let's do that. So for that, we're gonna, below our margin, we're gonna say transition. I'll just say all, 0.2 seconds, ease in. And then I'm going to select this button selector, and we'll use the hover pseudo selector. And then we're going to say, we're going to copy and paste the gradients that we made earlier for the results container. So this one, these two background things. And paste it. Okay, that should give us our hover effect. Let's see. Yep, beautiful. Now it matches that, just like the design. Okay. Cool. What else? Oh yeah, so let's fix this we'll use negative margins to like push this over just slightly. It's only a couple pixels, but it's over. So let's see, how do we want to do this? Do we want to do the summary container? Say margin right negative 5 pixels. Does that push it over? There's a margin left. Yeah, it pushes it over. And then let's say negative 10. And then we'll say z index minus 1. There we go. And that z index means like stuff, what should be on top of what. We're saying minus 1, so that means that this will always be under other elements. So it'll always be under this one because it's negative 1. And that looks more like the design. See that? Yeah, see, that messes that up though. Let's actually take that off. So since we did that, that's going to mess up our hover effect. So we're actually going to put this on the results container, I think. It's just like one of those little quirks with CSS where if you do that, it gets rid of your hover effect. So let's try this. Just flip it. There we go. See if that fixes it. Yeah, there we go. So now that's on top. We just reversed it, and we put this one on top of this one instead, so that didn't kill our hover effect. And yeah, that's it, guys. Look at that. It's pretty close to the design. Oh, there is one other thing, though, on the design. Is there's border shadow, or box shadowing is what it's called. And it's kind of sudden, but see how there's like shadows right here? And it's only pretty much, like from what I'm seeing, it's just on this area of it. So it's not around the whole thing. So we can do that. And we're going to use another website that generates box shadow for us, because I don't remember all that syntax. So let's do that. Let's go to Google and say box shadow generator. And I'll use this cssgenerator.org one. And remember, we want the shadow really to just be like here. So let's just mess with this, and then it'll spit out the code here for us. So we want it to be like a light shadow. So I'm gonna mess with the opacity here because I don't want it to be like super dark. And then the spread radius will be like that. That's good. Let's see, blur radius like that. I think that's good. Copy this, and this is going to go on the summary side, so the summary container. Bam. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. Pretty good. Box shadow, a little bit of box shadow. Ours is darker though. Let's see if we can lighten that up a little bit. It's too dark. Can I do hashtag 333? There we go. Let's try that. That's like light gray. It was black. I just changed the color to light gray. So let's delete this. Try this. It's got our new color in there. That's better. It's a little. I just don't want it so dark and obvious because it's like a little subtle in the design. Yeah, I think that's good. It's not dead on. This color is different. It's probably like this one of these violet colors for the shadow, but I think that looks good. So again, I'm not trying to be pixel perfect here. I just want to show you guys how to do the basic stuff. And if you want to again make it pixel perfect and spend hours on it, go ahead. Not a problem. You do you. I'll do me. You do you. But and again, our gradients aren't perfect, but I don't really care. Just having fun here. But yeah, that's pretty good, man. Let's make it responsive now. So if we look at, let's close this one, go to downloads, design, mobile design. open this up. And that's what it's supposed to look like on a mobile screen. So really just stacked on top of each other. So we can do that. That's easy. So for that, we're going to use media queries. So I'm going to go to Google and type in CSS media queries. Grab the code. Yes, I still copy code for media queries. I don't even write it by heart, even after like 4 or 5 years of coding. Because again, I'm not a memory guy. I'm just I'll know where to get it when I need it guy. And then let's just go down here, and I'm going to make a CSS comment. It says media queries, or in other words, this is where my mobile styles start. So to make it really obvious to myself and any other developer that might be looking at the code later. We give this, I go max width. So max width means up to 480 pixel screen size. Do this. Some other developers use min width. I'm a max width guy. It's just how I learned. So as you can see, let's just make sure our media queries are working. So if we make the screen smaller, the background does change to lime green or light green. So they are working. I'm going to right click and hit inspect, and I'm going to go into the mobile view by clicking on these mobile icon. And we'll develop it first for the iPhone 12 Pro. So this just gives you like a view of what it looks like on an iPhone right now. And we'll go ahead and fix this up. So can get rid of that. And yeah, as we can see, it's too big for the mobile screen, so we'll fix that. And actually, I'm going to go max width. I'll say up to like 650 pixels. I want this to be in the mobile view, so that'll cover all mobile devices. And then most tablets are like 750 pixels or up, so that'll take care of that. Like when it's a tablet, it'll go back to this view, a tablet and up, and then this will make sure that all mobile views are stacked on top of each other, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. So let's go to component container, the main container, and we have to change this to flex direction column so that this stuff is on top of each other. And we'll have to change some widths of stuff as well, probably. So let's do that. So let's say flex direction column. Cool. Now everything's on top of each other. And then we can get rid of all this display flex, justify content code, because we're not changing anything with that, and it'll just copy over from up top, so we don't need it in two places. All the code that you're not changing when you're doing mobile styles, guys, you just delete from your media queries area, so you just don't need it there. The width, for the width, this is going to go from pixels to 100%. And the height is going to be 100%, I think. What's holding us back here? Because we have width 50% here. We'll change it. So we have to make it this like full width, guys, because on the mobile screen view, it's everything is like 100% width. It fills up the whole screen. So that's what I'm changing the widths right now. Margin top. I'm going to say 0 because it's supposed to be sucked up to the top on the mobile view. And then the autos, might have to change that. I'm not sure. But for now, that's good. And then we'll just go back up to our code, to the results container. And we'll copy all this because we need to edit this now. I'm just going to copy it all and delete what we don't need. This is how I do mobile styles. So I think this is all fine. This is all fine. It's mostly just the width. So say width 100%. There we go. See how that filled in? And then our border radius is only supposed to be on the bottom ones and not on the top ones anymore, it looks like. Yeah. So let's say border radius, I think it should be 0 pix, 20 pix, 20 or 0. Let's see. No. This should be 0 and this should be 20 because these two are the top, bottom, bottom. There we go. Cool. And then we've got to fix the width of this stuff. So, and then, oh yeah, we get rid of the negative margin. We don't need that for mobile, so we'll just say 0 pix. That's why that was kind of over and there was that gap there. And then the z-index thing doesn't really affect anything, I don't think. So now let's go fix the width of this thing. And that's going to be down here. Summary container. So we're just basically trying to make this look decent on mobile, guys. Say 100%. There we go. And then there's no border radius for this on mobile at all. So let's just make this a border radius 0 pix. Background color we're keeping, we don't need that. And then you can't even really see the box shadow on mobile, so whatever. We'll just get rid of this code here. We don't need that. And then we got to make this stuff more centered now. So let's see, summary. Is that, no, summary's still over on there. Yeah, we could just do that. Let's go down here, guys. Let's say display, flex, line items, center, justify content center, flex direction, column. There we go. Now everything is centered. Now everything is centered here. And I think the summary stuff is still supposed to be over here. But I don't think I care. See, when we click it, the hover effect's still there. But yeah, this is mobile view. Let's see, when we flip it to port to a landscape, it goes back to desktop on an iPhone. And then for iPad Air. Uh-oh. How is it not? Oh, here we go. Bam. Look at that for iPad Air. For 820 pixels, it's too big. That's interesting. So we'll have to fix that. Let's go. Should we just be lazy and do that, guys? Should we just make this max with 120 pixels? No, because then the regular iPad is not going to look right. Huh, how come on an iPad mini, though, it looks fine? iPad Air. It's so weird. So weird. Is that the only one? Galaxy Fold is 280 pixels. We'll fix it for that little tiny screen. But everything else looks pretty good. Yep. But the LG 70. Looks good. So just that iPad mini is giving us trouble. That doesn't make any sense, guys. Or is the iPad Air, sorry. The iPad Air is just giving us issues. For some reason. It's not fitting the mobile view perfectly. So, what we could do for that is we could make a oh man, I don't really want to do that, but that doesn't make sense because the width of this shouldn't exceed 820. We put a width on here of like 768, so there should be plenty of room on the sides for this on an iPad Air. That is kind of silly. It doesn't make logical sense, but because then on the iPad mini, which is 768, it fits perfectly on both orientations. So I don't really care. I'm not going to mess with that. It looks good on mobile. We're not getting paid thousands of dollars to do this project. This is just to practice our HTML and CSS. But if I had to, I would make another media query like just for the iPad and just mess with it. I guess make it smaller. But I think this looks good, guys. This is the mobile view. See, they still want summary over here, but I have the summary in... I have the summary within the container, within this container, and I don't really want to... I guess we could do stats container and do that, right? Could we do stats container instead? I don't think so, though. We need that. What if I took all this out? And they said dot stats container. I don't think so. Oh yeah, it did work. There, we'll just do it that way. Now summary's over there. There we go, easy fix. Let's develop though. I wanna fix this little screen. What was it? It was like the Galaxy Fold. Let's develop for the Galaxy Fold, so like people with littler screens, I guess. And I think there's another phone that's new that has like a 320 screen, the S9. Is the S9 new? Oh, it fits anyway. Let's just do the Galaxy Fold, guys. Let's make a media query for that, because I think those phones are decently popular on the market. I think they're stupid, but people seem to buy them. So these are like little fold phones that are super small. So we'll do that, 280 pixels, and then what's our problem here? Galaxy Fold, everything is just too big. So I wonder why. It's because these are too long. So let's go to our... It's like the stat boxes and the button itself is what's too big. So let's do the stat first. The stats, I should say. So dot stat. Copy this. Width. You could just put pixels in here, I guess. I was going to use a percentage, but it doesn't really matter. Cool. That fixes that. And then let's just grab the button. Make that smaller. And we'll say width 260. There we go. It all fits. Cool. And then we could make this go up. So we could use like negative margins again. Does it look like that on all of them? Yeah, it does look that gap. This is supposed to be sitting on top of this. So what did we do? We put that on the results container. So let's do that again. Results container, and then we'll say margin bottom negative 10 pixels. There we go. Now this is sitting on top of that in the mobile view. And that looks better actually, because now we don't have that weird gap. But Galaxy Fold. Yay, we did it. Did it, guys. Look at that. We made it mobile. This text looks really white and mine doesn't. That's weird. Should that be white? Didn't I make that white? I thought this text is white. I think on different design files it's showing as different color. Let's go to Figma. What does Figma say? Oh, it is supposed to be white. How did I miss that? So let's make large number white, that class that we have. I probably got targeted by targeting other stuff, but let's go Where is our large? There it is, large number. No, we got color white on there. Huh. What is messing with that? It's the results container P. Okay. So, didn't I fix that though, guys? Didn't we put a class on that? Result P, yeah. Where's result P? Thought I fixed that. Let's just say dot result P. There we go. That's how it should look. Thought we did that earlier, guys, I swear. But anyway, there we fixed it. Now it's big and white and how it's supposed to look. Cool. Looks good on all the mobile views. iPad Pro. Pixel 4, I don't even know if that's new or old. Pixel 2 XL. Looks good. Oh, there. See, it said 800 pixel. Oh, there we go. It's because it zoomed in on its own. So I had to zoom out. Sometimes the Google Developer Tools guys, they're kind of glitchy, to be honest. They're not perfect, but they're pretty good. About iPhone 6, 7, 8 Plus. Yep. How about an iPhone 5? Does anybody use that? Who knows? Cool. All right, guys, I'm happy with this. So this is going to be it for the project. So, yeah, we're done. If you have a GitHub account, push this to your GitHub. Go to Frontend Mentor and submit it so you get some points on your account. Send me a friend request on Frontend Mentor if you want at Practical Web Dev. I think you can do friends. You can message or something. I don't know. Whatever you want to do. But this was just a fun little HTML CSS project, and I think it looks pretty close to the design. If I do say so myself. Let's get one more side by side. Pretty good. Make this bigger. Yeah. All right, guys. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.